Hey everyone, it's Jessica Michaels here with a Technique Tuesday video for you for a Cherry on Top crafts. And today we are focusing on embossing. So I have chosen a cut file from the Cherry on Top digital shop, which you can grab using the link below in my description. And I'm using this beautiful Spellbinders die that I got in one of my most recent orders. And I'm just going to run this through my manual die cutting machine to emboss the inside letters of my cut file, which I actually cut out on my Cricut just using the hide contour feature. And I think I actually have a video on that as well if you don't know how to do that. So that's how I cut them out. It's super easy, simple, quick, and I'm just going to run the inside letters through my embossing folder here through my die cutting machine, and you can see there that the letters turned out so cute with these cute little stars on it from the embossing folder, and they're all popped up and embossed now. So when you do that, you just make sure that you put the embossing folder and your letters down the correct way so that the raised side of the embossing shapes or whatever it's embossing is actually facing up so that it makes the correct indentation. If you put it upside down, it's going to make them kind of drop down the back side, and that's not what I wanted for this one. I wanted the stars to kind of pop up off of the letters, so I made sure that I put it the correct orientation in my machine. So I've got the inside here of the letters. I'm just going to glue those down using some Nuvo glue. This is the deluxe adhesive and it does dry clear, so I know if I make a little bit of a mess with it, I don't have to worry about that because it's just going to dry up clear anyways. Just using a white outline, and I'm going to use some background paper here that I've already trimmed down for some travel notebook pages using the Wonderlust Explorer collection by 49 and Market. This is a newer collection in the shop as well. I'll link it down below for you too in case you just want to click that to grab any of these pieces that I'm using today. I'm pulling out the chipboards and using those along with some of the die cut pieces, and I think I even threw on that little laser cut camera is from the laser cut sheets. So I'm just using some various elements here. I'm keeping this one pretty simple for the most part. I've just got a couple photos of my little guy from one of our camping adventures. I like to use my travel notebook for all of our camping trips because I was getting so many large 12 by 12 layouts, and I typically only put about 1 or 2 photos on my 12 by 12 layout. So I was just getting so many of the same campground that we go to all the time. I decided to transfer most of these layouts into my smaller travel notebook, and that's been working out very well for me. So I'm just using some of the washi tape. I actually really like these little washi tape strips. They don't come in the rolls of washi tape. They come in these little sheets, and there's 2 sheets with this pack, and I just kind of cut them apart and use them on the side of my little sheet here, or my little page, and I'm just using it as a little border on that right page there beside my photos. I was going to use a couple of these little frames, but I decided not to use them in the end, and I'm just going to use my photos. I'm not even going to back my photos, which is something I always do, so that's a little bit different today. I usually always back them with some more pattern paper, but I really wanted that cut file and the embossing to shine on this one, so I wanted to leave it alone and just kind of do some embellishing. I was also going to use maybe that frame, but in the end I ended up just using some little tabs around my photos and just some little bits and pieces. So I've got that one that I'm going to add some twine to at the top right there. So I'm going to pull out some wax twine and add to that. I've got my cute little laser cut camera that I'm going to use somewhere on this, and just kind of sorting through these, seeing what else I want to add. Again, I didn't want to overwhelm this layout too much because I really wanted that cut file and the embossing to be the star of the show here, along with my photos, of course, and I just wanted to lightly embellish this one. So my travel notebooks give me the opportunity to kind of make some simpler layouts and just kind of get some things documented and into my little book, which is my big goal there. It's to get some of these little memories documented and into my books. So I'm just gonna finish this one by embellishing, and I'm gonna glue this cut file down by just using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive again. That seems to work very well for cut files and things like that, and it seems to be holding up very well over time in my books as well. So I find with some other adhesives that I've used in the past a long time ago, some things in my older books are coming off, but it seems like this Nuvo glue holds up really well in my books. I'm going to just use my little tiny attacher stapler by Tim Holtz to just add a couple staples on that top piece. And then this little border strip is actually left over that from a die that I ran through my manual die cutting machine for something else, and it was just left over, but it was from this collection as well, so I just threw it in here with the die cuts, and I'm using that today. I'm just going to add the little chipboard phrase at the bottom and get my photos adhered down. I'm going to grab my date stamp in a little bit with some black ink, and I kind of debated on using some of those rub-ons, but then I was like, this page is pretty busy to begin with, and I wanted to keep it more on the simpler side, so I decided not to add any rub-ons. And my photos are kind of big for this too. I usually do batch printing about every 2 months, I would say. I used to do it every month, but I've kind of gotten a little slacky with that. And usually now it's about every 2 months that I get my photos off of my phone and I get them all printed out. So I decide which photos I want to print in 3.5 by 5 inch size and which photos I want to print at wallet size, which is what these ones are. I just have a setting on my computer that says wallet size, and that's what I go with. It fits, I think 9 of them on each page, which is 8.5 by 11 inch size photo paper. So that's how I do my printing. I print on my Canon Pixma IP8720 printer, and then if I want to print anything smaller than that, I typically go to my Canon selfie printer and make little collage prints for like these travel notebooks or my memory planner. That's typically what I go to. So that's how I print my photos. That's kind of my little spiel and what I like to do every couple of months just to get them off of my phone and clear up some storage and get these photos printed out so that I can actually use them. And then I store them in my albums usually in date order. So I write the dates on all the backs of my photos, and then I store them in my albums by date order, just by month. I usually keep them together by month, but in this travel notebook, I keep them together by trip, if that makes sense, because I don't have a lot of like monthly photos in this. I just have by weekend camping trips in this one. So I just kind of keep those together. So I've got my little camera here. I'm just going to go ahead and glue that little guy down, and I'm going to actually add some stitching to this as well. I thought it just needed a little pop of something else and bring in some more black to this layout. So I'm just going to use my little So Easy mat. This is like a foam board, and my little poker tool. This tool is actually for adhering brads to your pages or projects. So that's what I like to use to poke the holes through onto my foam board there so that I can do my sewing by hand. And I'm just going to add some little X's to this using some black thread. And I just recently got some new black thread, black and white, because I use black and white a lot when I do my hand sewing on pages like this. So I was running out, and I just was able to grab this pack of black and white from the Cherry Shop as well. So I'll link below everything that I've used today, so that in case you want to grab anything from the Cherry on Top shop, everything will be down below in the description, so you can just click on those links and it'll take you right to the products. So super easy today. I'll grab the link for that cut file as well in case you want to use that and cut it out on your silhouette or your Cricut. I have a Cricut that I use, and I enjoy cut files so much, and I know Rachel is making some new summer ones right now, so make sure you check the Cherry Shop in the digital portion of the shop for the new cut files that she's coming up with, because they're super cute too. But I will link everything down below for you. If you like this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. Here is the finished spread. I hope you guys enjoyed this one today, and I had a lot of fun with this one. Super easy, and I hope that I have showed you how to use that embossing folder, and you can play along with it and use it on your project as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.